Waking up after blowing it against the Rams at home with that bad taste in your mouth and the gut-wrenching realization that we basically gave the game away is a nightmare no veteran fan deserves to relive. I'm Matt Coleman, and today we are ripping the Band-Aid off this open wound in the NFC West because the standings don't lie and our margin for error just turned to dust. We've got a tactical shift on offense that took an eternity to happen, an O-line scare that stopped hearts across the Pacific Northwest, and roster moves bringing a heavy legacy name back to Seattle. Do we have the stomach for this stretch run, or are we just watching a rerun of old heartbreaks? 16%. That is what some damn algorithm says our division title hopes are worth right now. And if that ridiculous number doesn't make your blood boil with pure indignation, you probably don't get what's at stake here. That 21-19 loss to the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday wasn't just a bad day at the office. It was a haymaker to the jaw that knocked us out of the driver's seat and straight into the passenger side, forcing us to pull out the calculator and pray for other teams to screw up so we can take back the West. The naked truth is we are 7-3. The Rams are sitting pretty at 8-2. And the Niners, like that toothache that just won't go away, are right there at 7-4 with Brock Purdy healthy again. We are starring in one of only two divisions in the NFL with three teams over 500, turning every single week into a knife fight in the dark where one stupid mistake costs you the season. The Athletic Simulator gives us a cozy 91% chance for the playoffs, but tanks us to a miserable 16% to take the division, while handing the Rams 75%. But spreadsheets don't play football. Looking coldly at the schedule, we have a seductive trap ahead. Titans, Vikings, Falcons. 3 games against sub-500 squads that, on paper, should be business as usual. It is our moral, technical, and historical obligation to come out of this stretch a solid 10-3. If we stumble against a 1-9 Titan squad, we deserve to get roasted. And I say that because what awaits us after hosting the 8-2 Colts and then that revenge game against the Rams on Thursday, December 18th, that is Judgment Day. Circle that date in red, because Week 16 isn't just a game, it's a reckoning. It's the honor of Lumen Field on the line. The Rams might have the statistically easiest schedule, but the Niners could coast to 10-4 without breaking a sweat. The margin for error was pulverized last Sunday. There is no more room for almost or we played well but lost. Every snap now carries the weight of a Super Bowl, and the pressure is crushing shoulders that seem to buckle in big moments. We are cornered, pride hurt, fans restless, and to survive this boiling pot, we need to stop shooting ourselves in the foot with offensive strategies that defy logic. Has the coaching staff finally decided to look at the generational talent in our backfield and stop getting cute? Hallelujah! Finally, someone on that sideline decided to take the blinders off and see the painfully obvious truth we've been screaming hoarse from the stands since week 1. It is unbelievable how long it took, but it looks like coaching stubbornness has finally given way to pure logic in the Seahawks attack. The news hitting our ears like music is that Mike Macdonald is ready to ditch this forced, irritating, nonsensical rotation between Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Let's be real, friend. Could you handle seeing Walker destroy a defense on 1 down, ripping off an explosive run that reminds us of the glory days, just to be inexplicably yanked on the very next play so Charbonnet could run into a brick wall? It was psychological torture, a waste of talent that became a running joke in the league and a nightmare for fantasy football. But for us, it cost drives. Charbonnet is a hard worker, a decent tank for short yardage, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't have the magic, that cutback ability to turn nothing into something that Walker has. Macdonald, in a statement that sounded like a veiled apology, admitted Ken is showing he deserves more opportunities, even citing his explosive play in the passing game against the Rams. Translating from corporate coach speak to plain English, the everyone gets a trophy rotation is over. The guy with the hot hand eats. The Panthers figured this out with Chuba Hubbard, realizing 50-50 splits are a recipe for mediocrity. Walker is an elite back, one of those special dudes who deserves 30 touches, and treating him like just another cog in a committee was a crime against football. Now the expectation is he takes over as the absolute protagonist, leaving Charbonnet for breathers, which is his ceiling in this league. You felt that frustration bubbling all season, right? But hold up, because all this euphoria about who runs the rock can turn to dust in a blink if we don't have anyone to pave the road, especially after our trusted lineman heard a scary pop in his knee that silenced the stadium. That dead silence that fell over the stadium when Gray Zabel went down clutching his knee in the fourth quarter was the sound of thousands of hearts stopping at once, an instant traumatic flashback that made us fear the worst. The Rams game was already a horror show, with Sam Darnold handing out 4 interceptions like early Christmas gifts, and seeing our promising rookie on the sideline felt like the rotten cherry on top of a spoiled cake. It looked like the end of the line, that classic ACL tear that shuts down the year and throws the game plan in the trash, but fate, in a rare moment of mercy for the Seattle fan, decided to give us a second chance. Mike McDonald revealing on Monday that there was no major structural damage and Zabel is walking without crutches is a legitimate medical miracle that we need to manage with cold, calculating intelligence, not stupid bravery. Listen to me closely. Just because Zabel technically can return doesn't mean, under any circumstances, that he should step on that field this Sunday. We've been gifted a tactical window with this soft schedule. Facing the Titans, Vikings, and Falcons right now is the perfect scenario to exercise absolute caution. The Tennessee Titans are 1-9, officially the worst team in the league, with a run defense that is absolute Swiss cheese, giving up an absurd 135 yards on the ground per game. They've allowed 30 total touchdowns in 10 games. It's the ideal opponent to test our depth without exposing our starter. Christian Haynes is there for this. He was thrown into the fire against the Rams. He's got his own rust to shake off, but he needs to be the guy for these next 3 weeks of glorified preseason. Putting Zabel out there against a team that's already quit on the season would be unforgivable managerial malpractice. We need him whole, knee locked up, and confidence bulletproof for when the real war starts back up against the Colts, Niners, and especially for that bloodbath rematch against the Rams in Week 16. His body is too valuable of an asset to risk in games we should win on superior talent alone. Let the kid heal. While the coaches try to glue the pieces back together up front, the front office didn't stay quiet and decided to shake up the bottom of the roster with some Tuesday signings. And folks, this move brought a name that carries mythological weight in NFL history and a nostalgic connection to Seattle that'll make a lot of old school fans scratch their heads. Seeing Jerry Rice in Seahawks blue back in late 2004 was one of those collective fever dreams you swear happened but feels like a hallucination. And now, on a gray Tuesday in November, the front office decided to play with that core memory by bringing football royalty back to our backyard. Signing Brendan Rice to the practice squad isn't just a bureaucratic footnote. It's a genetic gamble that makes any veteran fan raise an eyebrow with a mix of prudent skepticism and irrational hope. The kid, son of the GOAT receiver, arrives after frustrated stints with the Chargers and Patriots, carrying that unbearable weight of the last name and a physique that commands respect, even if it hasn't translated to NFL dominance yet. He was a 7th rounder, had his flashes at USC with 12 touchdowns, but the league has been brutal to him so far. Still, putting a Rice in our development lab? Low risk, potentially infinite reward. If he inherited just a fraction of his dad's maniacal work ethic, he's worth the locker. But the moves didn't stop at family nostalgia, because bringing in Velus Jones Jr. adds a totally different and, dare I say, much more volatile energy. Jones is that classic case of an Olympic track star trapped in a football player's body who still struggles with the basics, like holding onto the football. A former 3rd-round pick by the Bears, he's electric, has speed that breaks pursuit angles, but carries the terrible stigma of stone hands and catastrophic mental errors that cost him his job in Chicago. He lands here as an urgent reclamation project for our special teams, someone capable of returning a kick 60 yards or fumbling on the 1-yard line with equal ease. To make room for these experiments, we cut Marshall Lang and Mike Reed, making it clear the priority now is injecting athletic explosion and pedigree, even if they come with giant red flags. We are scraping the bottom of the barrel looking for a spark, for something unpredictable that can be called up on a rainy day to flip a stalled game. Brendan Rice and Velus Jones Jr. might never see the field on a Sunday, or they could be the tactical surprise nobody saw coming. Looking at these fringe signings, adding in the painful loss to the Rams, the tactical shift in the run game, and the medical scare on the O-line, a complex picture is starting to form about who we really are this season. Looking at the big picture, from the gut punch against the Rams to finally unleashing Kenneth Walker and dodging a bullet with Zabel, it feels like we are walking on a razor's edge between being elite and being mediocre. We're evolving with the roster decisions, but that mental fragility, it's still haunting us. The hard truth is, if we don't absolutely steamroll these next 3 weak opponents, we don't deserve to even dream about January. We are a lion acting like a scared house cat right now. Do you trust this team to have the maturity not to play down to the Titans level? Sound off in the comments, smash that subscribe button to strengthen the channel, and let's ride. Go Hawks!